Welcome to the Algebra 1, Thursday, June 15, 2023 examination. So for the first part, you're going to have to fill out your student name and then your school. So you're going to put your first name, last name, or last name, first name. So just last name, followed by your first name, and then the school you attend, some sort of high school, presumably. Okay. Part 1. Let's read the instructions first so that we understand what it is that is being required or asked of us. We have to answer all the 24 questions in this part. Each correct answer will receive 2 credits. No partial credit will be allowed. Utilize the information provided for each question to determine your answer. Note that diagrams are not necessarily drawn to scale. For each statement or question, choose the word or expression that, of those given, best completes the statement or answers the question. Record your answers on your separate answer sheet, which will be the Scantron provided to you. There are a total of 24 multiple choice questions. Each one is awarded 2 credits, so you can get a maximum of 48 points. Okay, let's go ahead and look at question number 1. So for question number 1, the expression 9m squared minus 100 is equivalent to which of the following choices? So this expression here is actually classified as the difference of 2 squares. So we have a squared minus b squared, and that can be broken down into 2 factors, namely a minus b followed by a plus b times a minus b. So let's go ahead and look at what we can do here. So our equation is 9m squared minus 100. We're going to have to put this in the form a squared minus b squared. So all we're going to have to do is take the square root of both of these terms. So the square root of the first term is 3m. We can put that in the square. And the square root of the second term is 10. The square root of 100 is 10. So we could put that in parentheses and then squared. Now notice that our a is equal to 3m and our b is equal to 10. So based on this formula, we have a squared minus b squared equaling 3m plus 10 followed by 3m minus 10. That's it. That's basically how you do this type of problem. And so therefore, the correct answer choice would be choice number 1. So this one right here. We can go ahead and highlight that as well. So choice 1 is the correct one. Okay. Next thing, question number 2. Which expression represents an irrational number? When it comes to these types of questions where there's terminology, the most important thing to do is to understand that terminology. So what does irrational mean? Well, an irrational number is an expression that is not expressible as a ratio of 2 integers, namely into fractions. So you basically can't convert it into a fraction. So why don't we go ahead and look at all the choices we have. Notice that in each one of the choices, for instance, in choice 1, we have the square root of 16 plus the square root of 4. Both of these are perfect, the square root of 1. Both of these are perfect squares, which come out to be 4 plus 1, which gives us 5. This 5 is an integer, which I can write as a fraction if I write it as 5 over 1. Hence, because I can write this as a fraction, this retains the title of rational. Look at choice 2. In choice 2, once again, we are presented with 2 perfect squares. The square root of 25 plus the square root of 4. The square root of 25 comes out as 5, and the square root of 4 is expressed as 2. 5 plus 2 is 7, and 7 once again is an integer, which can be rewritten as a fraction by placing it over 1. So 7 over 1, and then again, it's rational. Choice 3, on the other hand, is an interesting one, because you have the square root of 36, which is a perfect square, but the square root of 7 is not a perfect square. So this will be reduced to 6 plus the square root of 7. Now, this cannot be simplified further, and therefore it is classified as being irrational, meaning I can't write this term as a fraction. at the end of the day once everything is reduced. So therefore it's irrational. And then for choice 4, we have once again the square root of 49 plus the square root of 9, which are both perfect squares, which gives us the sum of 7 and 9, which gives us, the sum of 7 and 3, which gives us a total of 10. Hence, this is also classified as 10 over 1 and rational. Hence, the only one that's irrational is choice 3. We'll highlight that as well. Moving on to question number 3. Which linear equation represents a line that passes through the point -3, negative 8? So notice that -3, negative 8 is our x and y coordinate. This is our x and y coordinate. Another thing I want you to notice is that each one of the multiple choices starts with a slope of 2. Each one of them has a slope of 2. So that means that the m value is 2. Now, if we refer to the equation for the intercept, right? Equation of a line, y equals mx plus b. We know what our m value is, we know what our x value is, and we know what our y value is. All we just need to do is to find which y-intercept is the correct one. We want to look at all these y-intercepts and determine which of these are the correct one, or is the correct one. So we use the equation. We plug in -8 equals 2 for the m, -3 for your x plus b. So that gives us -8 equaling -6 plus b. Once I add 6 to both sides, the 6 on the right-hand side cancels. And I'm left with -2 equaling b. Hence, if I rewrite now the equation, y equals mx plus b, I get y equals 2x minus 2. That's the equation of the line that will pass through that point, which means choice 1 is correct. Another way to see this is to interpret it graphically. So the point -3a, so -3 is here, and 8 is here, -8 is there, so that point will be right here. We need a line that passes through this point. That y-intercept here will be -2. And so the slope will once again be 2, so the equation of the line would be y equals 2x minus 2. There are multiple ways to answer question number 3. I've just shown you 2. Okay. Question number 4. The expression 5x squared minus x plus 4 minus 3 times x squared minus x minus 2 is equivalent to which of the 4 choices here? So the first thing you want to do is you want to get rid of these parentheses here. They're not needed in the first part. So let's rewrite them without them. So we have 5x squared minus x plus 4. And then to get rid of the parentheses in the second part, I'm going to have to distribute the -3 across to every single one of these terms. So that would give us minus 3x squared plus x plus 6. We can go ahead and now combine the like terms. So 5x squared and -3x squared combined together gives us a total of positive 2x squared. Notice that when we immediately have positive 2x squared, we can eliminate choices 3 and choices 4, because the problem there is the exponent being to the 4th power, and we only have our exponent to the 2nd power. So choices 3 and 4 are completely eliminated. Then we can combine the next 2 terms, like terms. We have, this is supposed to be a positive 3. And that gives us positive 2x. So that eliminates choice 1 because that has a negative value for 2x. And then we can combine the last 2 terms, positive 4 and positive 6, which based on simple arithmetic gives us the value of 10, hence making choice 2 the correct answer. So choice 2 is the correct answer. Okay, for problem number 5, we need to find the 24th term of the sequence. And the sequence is presented to us here, -5, -11, -17, -23. And so on and so forth, of course, obviously. Of course, these ellipses here indicate that it goes on forever and ever. Now, there's multiple ways of solving this problem. One is using your calculator, going on to L1 and L2, typing 1, 2, 3, 4 in L1, and then -5, -11, -17, -23 in L2, and then clicking the linear regression to get out an equation, and then plugging in the value 24 for x to get out the value. But we're going to be using the arithmetic sequence, something you have been taught in class. So the formula for the arithmetic sequence is the following. A sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times the common difference d. So we're looking for the 24th term. So a subscript 24 will equal to a sub 1. Now, the first term here is your a sub 1. The second term is, of course, logically a sub 2. The third would be a sub 3, and so on and so forth. Our goal and objective is to determine what the 24th term in that sequence would be. So that, according to this equation, a sub 24 is equal to a sub 1, which is negative 5, plus 1 minus the 24th term we're looking for. So 24 minus 1 times the common difference. Now, the way we find d, the common difference, is we take the a sub 2 value and we subtract the a sub 1 value from it. So d would equal to negative 11 minus negative 5. Now notice I'm putting parentheses here for negative 5 because when you do subtraction, you should always include the parentheses. So we get the value for d equaling negative 11 plus 5. Negative 11 plus 5 gives us a value of negative 6. So the common difference here would be negative 6, and we can quite clearly see that. From negative 5 to negative 11, we subtracted 6. From negative 11 to negative 17, we subtracted 6. And so on and so forth. This pattern will continue. So if we continue with the arithmetic here, we have negative 5 plus 24 minus 1 is 23 times negative 6. Well, according to PEMDAS, we have to multiply 23 to negative 6 first before we can add the negative 5. So 23 times negative 6 gives us 138, negative 138. And that automatically actually eliminates choices 3 and 4 because the answer will be negative. And then in the next step, we'll figure out what exactly that number is. So when we subtract negative 138 from negative 5, we get a value of negative 143. So that's choice 2.